This is over. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The mental health and the physical health issues of your normal day person, and what does that look like trying to survive the end of the world? Being a critic yourself, and really criticizing your own work, not taking things personal.
I am so glad I asked that question.
Hey, comic creators, artists, writers, world builders, this is your call to action. Here at Talkin Comics, we love diving into the stories behind the stories. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game for years, we want to hear your journey, your creative process, and what fuels your imagination. So, ready to talk comics with us? Message us or hit the link in our bio and be a guest on Talkin Comics.
Welcome to Talkin Comics. It's great to meet you, Brandon. Before we dive into your comic, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Brandon Starocchi. I'm the creator and writer of Avalon comic. Before Avalon, and really still now, I'm just an average Joe. I work a day job. I have a family, that I hang out with and take care of and all that stuff as well. So I'm just your normal guy. I had a dream way back then of doing film, cinema, and all that stuff as well. Figured out it's way too expensive to actually do stuff like that. So I shelved that for a while. Met a buddy of mine, Alan Dingfelder, which co-created Avalon with me. And he was really the one that kind of drove this dream forward and all that, and starting to get all this stuff going. And we ended up kind of collaborating quite a bit, and Avalon was kind of born from that. And then here I am now, and just trying to pitch this, get this out there, and hopefully in the future doing more things like like we're talking about before the show, podcasts. Like I said I was really into cinema, and I'm planning on doing a short film at the end of this year, and just starting to get the ball rolling, which is creative kind of stuff in itself. But other than that, just a normal guy.
So you said your friend's the one that pushed this along and started it. Go into that.
So I had the idea, this original kind of like not polished Avalon idea before it was even called Avalon, when I was in high school, senior year. And like I said, I shelved this idea along with the dream of being a director or anything in cinema. I met him, and he was in a band before I met him, and he was in, it was a really popular band at the time, and he was kind of like going on the up and up with it. Ended up stopping that band, and we kind of like just linked together at the perfect time, where we both kind of like just shelved our dreams, but then missed it. And then we're like, okay, let's figure out a way of getting this dream back. And we kind of collaborated with the idea of 1282 Productions, which is our production, or we're producing our own comic and content as well under our own production. And one of the biggest gripes that Alan had himself was he just wanted to be able to do whatever he wanted and have nobody tell us what to do. And that's one of the big reasons why we started our own production. And then we really collaborated on the idea of Avalon, and really started to polish every idea, uh the beginning, middle, end kind of thing, where it's going, the name, why the name is what it is, all that stuff. The zombies that we created, we wanted to be a little bit different. We went through a lot of different things and trying to get to where we are today. And we're pretty excited where we're at, and we're excited for what's to come as well.
That's awesome. What does the 1282 stand for?
So 1282 was our hourly rate when we kind of came together. We were making $12.82. It was a low point in both of our lives. It was hard to pay any bills. It was, I had my wife now, but we weren't married yet. I had a kid on the way and everything. So it's just like hard times, $12 an hour. It's kind of a pain to kind of get by. And then we had this dream about the same thing. And then the number 1282 just had a ring to it. So we're like, that'll be a cool look back moment. When hopefully we're getting the ball rolling here, and then we look back, we're making $12.82 when we had this dream in the first place. But
I am so glad I asked that question, because that's a phenomenal description of that. So what was the initial inspiration behind the comic? You said you started in your senior year of high school with this idea. Like what brought that on?
Sure. So I'm just a huge zombie fan in itself. Walking Dead show, the comic, just any zombie or just horror kind of like genre like that, like 30 Days of Night, The Crazies, things of that nature. So I'm a big like survival zombie person. And it simply just came down to the question where just how would I personally survive in the zombie apocalypse? In real life, I have two brothers. So in the story with Avalon, there's three brothers. mom and dad and all that stuff as well. At that time frame as well, what did that look like for me and my family, and kind of the mental, health that some of my family members were dealing with, and the physical health issues that they're dealing with. What does that all look like truly in a zombie apocalypse? And being a fan of zombies and zombie movie shows, and etc., not a lot of times do you see where they really exploit these kind of issues that people deal with on a day-to-day basis. They show it, they entertain it for a little bit, and then I always find it kind of gets put in the background and kind of forgotten about. And really, it was kind of the idea that Alan and I were really like, why don't we just harp on that, the mental health and the physical health issues of your normal day person, and what does that look like trying to survive the end of the world and zombies and whatnot.
All right, that's pretty neat. I was able to read issue 1 through 3 that you
Okay,
sent me. So I didn't finish all of them, but I did read the first 3. Um, it was really good so far. I was enjoying it.
good.
It's
Thank you.
very yeah, the cliffhangers at end of every issue was, great. What about the world building? Like, how did you approach the world building in this?
So one of the biggest things that was an obstacle, at least for me, was because I didn't know I still don't know really what I'm doing. I'm kind of learning as we go along here. And as we were figuring this all out, we were driving around kind of local area, trying to figure out what city, what kind of atmosphere we wanted, and all of that as well. We were gonna do a place in New York. Geez, I can't remember the name of it. Dunkirk, New York, which is about an hour and a half from me, I think, around there. And then we retracted that and we came to the conclusion, why don't we just do it in Erie, where I'm living and where where home is? And the reason being was because let's just keep everything as close to us as possible that we can, meaning we know this city, we know the people in the city. We know what it can get like here weather-wise, because weather has a huge factor in this story as well. We just know all those things, so kind of go out and learn more things when we have to learn the aspects of writing, character development, mental health, physical health, like all those things we need to learn more about rather than the exterior, like location and all that stuff as well.
What were some of the biggest like creative challenges you faced starting out?
Really, just really just learning it overall, learning the whole writing process itself, and then trying to make sure it all makes sense, um and making the characters as relatable as possible. And one of the biggest goals is that. And again, what made it a little bit easier for me, at least, I can't speak for Alan, but was like just utilizing people I know in my life, family, friends, and over exaggerating some of the issues that they're dealing with for the sake of storytelling. But it's really just all that stuff as well. And as time went on and as more issues we started writing, it became a little bit easier for me. But right now, it's really just trying to make these arcs kind of tie in with each other, and it's more of a bigger world or bigger picture rather than each issue is its own issue or each season is its own issue. I want the whole project to have like a beginning, middle, end kind of feel to it. And really that's been, I wouldn't say the hardest part, but it's the most time consuming part, where it's like you really got to devote a lot of time and effort into trying to figure out exactly what you want to do with the story, especially at this point, because this is my baby at this point. It's my first kind of project that, we really are out there with. And I want to make sure I'm doing as much justice as possible, because again, a lot of these characters I hold close to me because they relate a lot of my family and close friends as well. So it's a really close to my heart project too. So just trying not to fail that as well has been kind of a struggle as well, but mentally. But
How's that process look for the both of you? Like, do you guys split things? Do you work together? You're co-writers, you're the writer. How does go into that?
so
Because you're not the artist, right? You have
no,
another person doing the artwork. We'll get
yeah,
to that. We'll
yeah,
get to
yeah.
that.
So it's quite a bit. The team has grown over the years at this point. So Alan and I were the ones who kind of started this whole thing together and trying to figure out what we wanted and all that. We did all the dirty work in the beginning. So his role always was going to be help me with season 1 of Avalon, which is, I say season, it's more of a volume, but interchanging TV shows and
Yep.
comics at this point.
I do it all the time.
But issues 1 through 6 will be volume 1, season 1. That was always his role, to help with that first season. And then Alan has taken, since we got there, we're sending out issue 6 here soon, waiting for the prints to come in this week. His role now is to take a step back in kind of the behind the scenes of the 1282 production part of it, possibly get back going with the band. We want to elaborate more on the entertainment and just, again, band, podcast, shorts, things of that nature, and really do entertainment in a whole nutshell. And that's kind of our overall goal with that. But now, since he's taken kind of that, I don't want to say hiatus, but like kind of like a step back. So he's still a part of the Avalon process, more as an editor now for season 2 and so on. Now, as another writer, really close buddy of mine that's also been really into cinema writing as well, Bill Dalton, has jumped on the writing team as well for this upcoming season, episodes 7 through what would that be, 13? Is that 6?
12, 7 through 12. I
Okay,
think.
yeah, okay. But
Yeah.
he's going to
12.
be doing that part. Yeah,
Ah,
I'm not going to be maths is too hard. So he was added to the team for this second season, and if he wants to stick around, that'd be great. But and then we have Rachel Bullock, which is an editor for us as well. And she kind of helps edit and make sure everything stays afloat, because I can have some wild ideas sometimes, and sometimes I can get a little ahead of myself, but she kind of helps keep the train on the tracks, kind of deal. And then, of course, we have Demetrius Nastos, which is the artist. And he, honestly, I tell him all the time, he brings this project to life better than we ever could without him. His his art style, panel layouts, his choices, and kind of how he illustrates the page or panel or character is just beyond phenomenal in my eyes. I really enjoy his art, and he really shines the light on Avalon.
does he color it too? Does he do the coloring as well?
Yeah, so everything you see visually is all Demetrius right now. A lot of work is put on him right now, but we're getting to a point where we're trying to maximize all of his strengths and kind of put other people in, because we're starting to get to season 2. We're starting to get a little bit bigger at this point and some traction, which is great and all that. But so now we're going to be able to have him execute on his strengths. And I mean, I'm not even going to say it, he doesn't have any weaknesses, but give him some time in life. You know what I mean? Because he's so
Right.
devoted and doing so many different slots in this comic, the cover, the inking, the penciling, the coloring. It's just a lot of time from the beginning of this thing. So we're just trying to figure out a lot of different ways of incorporating the best of everybody's time that's part of this team.
Coloring was very interesting to me because it was kind of like a black and white with like the red early on, and then like towards the end of the episode, the last couple pages is like full color.
Yes.
So like, what was there a reason for that, or just because the powerful of the storyness, or
I think so. The more time goes on, I start to, I feel like, fool myself on why this was a reason. But I think it was as simple as Alan and I, when we were figuring this out, how we wanted to tell a story. I think it was as simple as that would be cool. Okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, so
eh,
we did the
well, it was
black.
cool, it worked.
Yeah, I'm glad it did. I'm glad you think that as well, because it was. So we did the black white. I like the black and white because I'm a huge Walking Dead comic fan as well. I like the black and white, but always to me, it was. I mean, if you're reading a zombie, you need blood, so I'm like, okay, there needs to be the red. And then we just, I don't even know what the conversation was like between Alan and I, but we're like, we need to do a color last page. Okay, it'll be cool. The idea was great, but the execution that Demetrius brought blew it out of the water, and it just showcases his skills even further. When you're seeing the black, white, and like the grayscale, and then you get that full
Hmm.
splash of color at the end. He just, again, it just shows his versatility and how much he's able to kind of accomplish in a story.
That was, yeah, I enjoyed that. What is, so when you're writing, do you have any specific rituals or habits when you're creating?
So yes, but they change very often. I have to be. And so depending on the mood of the story. So right now for season 2, it's more of like I'm trying to get into like a depressive state of mind. I know it's probably like a weird thing to like say or hear, but like it's something where I need to get like down in the moment, because you know, you read the 3 episodes of the end, almost the 3 issues,
I
and
do
when
it
you
every day.
continue when you continue to read it, you'll start to understand that there is some again, there's still a lot of inner demons that these characters are dealing with before this apocalypse even started. So it's really just trying to really grab those inner demons within myself and try, you know, those mental tolls, those mental kind of battles that everybody deals with, and try and listen to some like good music and really put me in a mood. And if it's a pissed off mood, if it's a sad mood, if you know, yeah, exciting mood, I gotta get into a mood and rhythm, and then really start the real wheel will start moving. Sometimes I'll go on walks to really kind of get the blood pumping, but it changes given whatever the story itself is going to be about. You know what I mean? But right now, that's kind of where I'm at preparation wise for writing right now.
What are some of the biggest challenges you've had in creating?
I guess number one, doing it and just finding it. The biggest one I would say is the marketing.
Mhm.
And it's not so much like the difficulty of it; it's more so again the time of it. There's you got to be so on it. You got again outside. I'm not too much of a fan of the marketing aspect. I'll do it. I don't mind it. I would rather sit here and write and create and all of that. So the only issue I find with it is the marketing is taking away from the creating part, and that's kind of been a battle mentally that I've been dealing with. At least this last couple issues was juggling the two, you know, because either I'm going all in on the marketing or I'm going all in on the writing, and I'm still in the middle of trying to figure out that perfect blend of a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm able to do that with the marketing aspect of it, but to stay in a zone for the writing aspect of it can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So it's really just trying to find that perfect middle ground with that. So I would say that would probably be the most difficult thing lately that I've been dealing with overall.
Yeah, marketing is not easy. It's a lot of work, and
A lot of work, yeah.
it's hard.
It's
It is
it could
very
be
hard.
annoying. It could be annoying because
Yeah.
a lot of marketing is momentary things though too. Like
Yep.
it's got to be like now and then, like and then it'll somehow it'll shoot up and then hit an algorithm, and like so if you're not proper with your timing, then it'll just fall in the dust 100% of the time. There's a lot of studying and like just research, and hey, when's the best time to do this, when's it why is it the best time to post at this time, and it's a lot of things to look into. And again, time, it's a lot of time, more so than anything or anything else, but yeah.
Did you crowdfund the first issue?
I actually crowdfunded all of them.
Okay.
We bundled 3 and 4 together. Oh no, 4 and 5 together. So we did 4 crowdfunders, and um, thankfully we've successfully funded all of them. All thanks to everybody who's donated and you know pledged and got their stuff as well. Um, and we're just kind of moving on. And issue 6 was our latest one. We're getting it out there. There's a bit of delay, just you know, normal day family life on my side, you know, family problems on my side, and then stuff going on with Demetrius and the art as well. So it kind of put a little bit of a pause, but we're finally to the end of that milestone. Like I said, we're getting those comics shipped this week, and
Sweet.
then after that, we're going to be moving to our trade paperback. So that's pretty exciting as well.
For volume, like the volume 1?
Yep, volume 1. Yep, we're going to be doing 1 through 6 on that. And actually, uh, and this was Demetrius's idea though too. Because you've read them, so you noticed that issue 1 and 2 are like completely different art styles. That was so same, obviously, artist, and Demetrius kind of found himself in issues 2 and so on. He just gets better each issue. But that issue 1, he asked me, he's like, "Can I do like a remastered of issue 1?" And I thought it was actually kind of a cool idea because if we had the whole volume kind of stick into one kind of art style.
Together, right.
Yeah, and what we're gonna kind of do with it as well, I did one more print run of this issue one, or like the one that you read now, and
Mhm.
after this print run is done, or after this Kickstarter is out and we have the remastered copy, we're not going to be doing any more prints of the OG issue one. We're just going to be pumping out the remastered issue one.
So get the OG now while you can.
Yeah, and it's nice and cheap. It's $4.99 too. It's just it's kind of like a cool thing, I think, and it adds like just kind of a cool touch to what we're doing here. And I thought it was a kind of a cool idea that he had, and obviously we're doing it now, and we're going to be coming up with some kind of cool ideas for the trade, the remastered, and some cool packages and all that as well coming up. So I'm excited for all that.
How well did the first Kickstarter go? Well,
It
what did you ask for?
I don't even remember, so many years ago. It went better than I thought. I had low expectations though too, because Alan and I, when we were figuring this thing out, he was just like, "Oh, I know this app. It's called Kickstarter. I've seen people use it before." And he's like, back then, when he knew about it, he said it was kind of crappy and whatever. And he's like, "I don't know what it's like now." So we're like looking into it, like, "Oh wow, this thing turned into like something kind of big." We're like, "Geez, this is kind of cool." And then we're like looking at it, looking into it. So we did our fair, amount of research at that time when we were kind of, new to this whole game, and we funded. I think we ended up getting, geez, I don't know, like 1,500 or something like that, or 1,600. So around that price. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but um, like I said, I put a low bar down for that one because we were just figuring this whole thing out, and we
Did you
funded, and we
market?
were.
You have to market that a lot, or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just yeah,
And it's
that's
a lot of
crazy.
marketing with that, and it's a strange market that I've started to figure out after doing more of them. I'm
How
nowhere near
long
where I want to be, but
right. How long ago was that? The first one? Did it
the
come
first
out?
one, 22, March
22?
of
Okay.
22 is when the first issue came out, and we're dropping 6 out now. So it's been a couple of years here, and a couple Kickstarters, and each Kickstarter I've done, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better overall in the display of what people are seeing, what people are going to be getting, and what people are kind of, what the niche is in the Kickstarter community, and like how people want to be sold to. Because I've learned, because I was going to stop doing Kickstarters, but somebody convinced me to just, no matter what, continue to do them, because it's people will literally go on Kickstarter nowadays just to buy comics. And I didn't really know that Kickstarter was a market like that. Like anybody would go on Amazon or eBay or whatever. Like there's a specific market for those people on Kickstarter, for people who go on that. So we're just going to continue to do them as long as we're funding, so.
Yeah. That's pretty neat. Do you have any cool Easter eggs in your work?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
several Easter eggs throughout
Well,
the
you talk about
story.
your family, right? Your family's in it, so or based off it. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a big Easter egg guy. I love Easter eggs in movies. I love Easter eggs in shows. So naturally, I'm going to be putting it in, the comic here as well. Um, there's, I guess I can. I'll give you a small Easter. I'll give you a small Easter egg.
yeah,
It's in
give me a
issue
small
one.
one.
Uh, what? So when Andy and Miller are going into the gas station, you see their license plate, and it says ATM 1282, and 12, or the ATM was the abbreviated version of Alan's band in the past. So we kind of just threw that in there as well. So it's a small little Easter egg.
And the
And
1282 we already covered, but that was
yes,
phenomenal
and
reasoning.
yes, and I'll say this as well. I haven't said this on a podcast ever though, too. So it's not like it's a hidden thing or it's not known to the public. I just don't know if people figured it out. So Andy, Ty, and Mason also are ATM as well. So and Alan's band again was ATM. Um, and we just kind of threw that kind of like in, personal Easter egg in there as well, which was
Right.
kind of like just like a weird little thing. And then You'll see Easter eggs if you're looking for them. They're there. You just got to find them. They're fun. We try to make it fun as much as we can too.
All right, which character is your favorite
Um,
in your comic?
I have. I don't know what I want to say. Okay, I'll just say this: a small spoiler if somebody wants to hear it. Uh, it's not really a spoiler. If you read issue 1, you know that Miller gets bit. Given it's a zombie story, you know where that's going. But I had a really good time writing Miller's character. Miller's character was very fun for us because he was the most chilled, laid back, kind of like just friendship. But like Alan and I, like it just reminded me of our friendship and just really articulating that, talking about eating meatball sliders and having to shit, you know?
Keep them warm, right?
Yeah, and stuff like that as well. So it's just small talk conversations that people talk about stupid things all the time. It's fun to add just a pointless conversation, and they're real brief. But he was fun.
Right.
He had a lot of
That
lines that I enjoyed, and just writing and just reading and all that stuff as well. But he's really fun. Development wise, I'm having a really fun time with Andy's character. I have a lot of plans for him. I mean, really, all three brothers. There's a lot of plans for. Um, but Andy has a very complicated story that he's coming off of before the apocalypse even starts. So you're going to start to realize a little bit more as more issues come out. What happened before? Why hasn't he been around? So he has more of a complicated backstory and all of that as well. So he's been really fun to kind of break down and figure out what we're doing with him.
great. I'm looking forward to that. Which what is something like you didn't realize when you started about making comics that was, that you wish you knew, or you tell somebody now that's like, "Hey, I'm gonna write a comic." What would you tell 'em?
It's a lot of work. Not that I didn't think it was going to be a lot of work. It's a lot more work or it's a lot of different work that I didn't expect. I guess I don't know I just jumbled all that together, but it's a lot of weird work that I didn't expect going into it. I knew it was going to be a lot of work. I knew it was going to be a lot of just, learning and dedication and all that. But there's a lot of stuff like, and I brought up, we are talking about marketing a little bit ago too. It's just, that's been one of the biggest things because I feel like it changes, it evolves almost daily. And you have to, and again, like we just talked about a little bit too, you have to be on it and present daily. And I don't care that much. Like I never really was a social media person before all this. Like I wasn't on
Right.
social media posting things saying, look at me. I wasn't like that, but you have to be that because you have to be consistent. You got to be out there, show people. Who are you? What do you got? Because if people don't really know who you are or hear you or see you or whatever, it's just like, okay. That's what we're talking about, I think, before the show. Like the streamers. I for some reason I need to see the streamer. I like
Right.
I you don't see much with the streamer. You just need it's a visual. It's just like you see that's a real person. It's you see what they look like. You could put a face to the voice and all that. So it's just people like seeing people. People like listening to people, hearing about stories and all that stuff as well. So it's really just trying to adapt into that kind of world. And I think over time I've been getting a little bit better at it, just mentally and personally with it. But it's I still have a long, long way to go.
You and me both. I don't post personally whole lot as well,
Yeah,
but like I'll post 3, 4 times a week on, Talking Comics,
yeah, of course, yeah.
but
But you got to almost sell yourself though with what you
right.
got, and that I'm learning that though too. I can't just sell Avalon, in the same sense as
I
you.
mean,
You
that's
can't
how
just
we
sell your
met.
podcast, right?
Yeah, it
So
was
we gotta
TikTok, right? I think we
right.
followed each other and a
Yep,
message,
and
and
just
here we
right
are.
then and there. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You just got to be out there. You got to market yourself. You got to market your product. It's a whole ring of chaos, and you got to figure it out.
Do you have any like comic book creators or artists that have influenced you the most?
Um, like do indie comics count too?
Sure.
Well, I'll start with a more known one. It would be um I'll stretch it out to like more entertainment too, like movies too, because Robert Kirkman's a big,
Yeah.
obviously naturally, given The Walking Dead, being a fan of it as well. A lot of influence comes from that and understanding from that. Hearing his story or his up and coming story as well was kind of a really cool one. Quentin Tarantino, again, I'm bringing the entertainment aspect of it too, like
I love
cinema.
Tarantino.
Yeah,
Love him.
I am a huge fan of Tarantino. I've seen every movie with the exception of one, so don't hate me, Tarantino fans, if I'm calling myself a
Which
fan.
one?
Jackie Brown. It's the only one I haven't seen. It's
So
the only
good.
one I haven't seen, and it
I
bugs me
didn't
that I haven't.
This is over. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I
Go
wouldn't even
watch it
blame you.
right now.
I wouldn't even blame you. Trust me, I
That's
know
like that's like a golf, because I've been golf. My day job's golf related. That's like us not watching Happy Gilmore 2 on
yeah,
Friday, right?
yeah.
Like
When it came
when it
out,
came
yeah,
out. So like
yeah.
we
So
had long
I get it.
discussions today on Happy Gilmore 2. So
I get it if the fandom wanted to kick me out, the Tarantino fandom, but like it's the only movie I haven't seen, but I love his stuff. I take a lot of inspiration from his stuff, just his conversations, his shots and his camera angles, all of it. It's great. Um, and one of the indie comic people I'll shout out right now, but Lori Calcaterra, I don't know if you've ever seen her stuff. Path of the Pale Rider, she has a zombie comic as well, different kind of telling of it. It's just zombies. That's the only similarity there is. Hers is a completely different story. I'm not going to sell her comic. Go find her, Path of the Pale Rider, at Laura Calcaterra. But she motivates me. I take a lot of inspiration from her as well. She does a phenomenal job. And the reason I bring her up too is because we came out in 2022 with Avalon, we kind of were both running our campaigns at the same time, our first campaign, and we kind of just met through interviews, doing interviews and podcasts and stuff. And we just kind of been friends ever since then, and kind of just sharing our journey throughout the whole step of the way and all of that. So I'll shout her out too, with the inspiration question too. But
you'll have to introduce me. I'll have to have her on
yeah,
when she's writing.
and I think she has a campaign going, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you who would be your dream collaborator? Would it be somebody like Tarantino or
Oh yeah. I just
hell yeah, right?
yeah, oh yeah. I just think it's not even just like the movies and stuff. It's just his passion in it. And I want the passion with it. And I think that's the biggest thing that draws me to him. So I mean, the movies are great, but like when you watch his interviews, you watch him talk about his projects, he loves them at that, all of them. Like he won't finish the project until he is like, this is what it is. Like even talking about, I think Jamie Foxx was talking about it with Django. He literally like didn't like the way one of like it ended or the house blew up or something like that. And he's like, oh no, we didn't do it right. He's like, we got to film something else after or whatever. And I'm like, that's just like crazy to me. It was like you did this whole big budget, you blew up a house, and you didn't like some certain aspect of, I don't know, it's just crazy. There's just a passion that he's going to do what he wants to do because this is what he did, and he trusts himself, trusts the process, and all that stuff that comes with it. That's why I think I would love to work with Quentin Tarantino in some fashion, just to really capture that passion and are kind of portrayed into what I want to do in the
We'll have
future.
to
But
find out if he's into comics. I'm not sure.
I'm
I
gonna
know
be
he's
like,
into
hey, dude.
movies.
Oh,
Yeah, let
100%.
come
Yeah.
on.
Like get
He
over here
has
and
his
just,
own like movie podcast, so like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
discuss his movies, but it's amazing. Anybody else or
I mean, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I just think that the only one that would kind of come to mind right then and there would be him. And really,
yeah.
and this might sound cliche or like, oh yeah, okay, you're just saying that. But just the team I'm working with right now, everybody that's part of this team, I would love to stick with them all to the end. I'm a very
Hey,
team, kind of guy in that sense. And one of my big wishes for this whole thing is this can make enough to the point where we could all just do this together and enjoy what we're doing together as a team. And I think that would be over anything else, or over working with anybody else in Hollywood industry or whatever it might be. Just having these close knit people here and just doing this as a full time gig with all of us a part of this would be the dream in my
no.
eyes. But yeah,
There's nothing cliche about that. I mean, that's a very good goal to have, right? Like that's
Yeah.
amazing. So when people read your series, if they read volume 1 when it comes out, or if they already read it, what do you want readers to feel or take away from when they finish an issue or a volume? Either one.
I, one of the biggest things, I guess, is like you're not alone in issues that you're dealing with on a day to day basis. And we're really trying to articulate that a lot with our characters. Is a lot of them feel like they're alone, but then in the same sense, we're kind of showing them over the course of time that they're not alone. And obviously, it's a heightened kind of reality where you're dealing with zombies, you're dealing with the end of the world, you're dealing with death, and at a faster rate than normal. But your issues that you're dealing with mentally or physically, you don't have to deal with it alone. You have people there that love you and that are, no matter what, are going to be there for each other. Even if you hate one of somebody at that moment, and it seems like that person doesn't like you, whatever it is, family's family, close knit friends. Drop the BS. You know what I mean? Family's family. Just keep it that way. And that would be one of the biggest goals, because obviously that's one of our biggest approaches is the mental health and the physical health aspects as well. So I would say that would probably be the one of the bigger things that we want people to kind of grasp, and people can relate to these characters. And hopefully we're doing a good enough job and kind of telling these kind of stories, and we're doing enough justice for people who are dealing with these things on a day-to-day basis. And we are kind of shining the proper light on these kind of mental health kind of
On
things
those
and physical
issues.
health. Yeah, yeah.
No, I think you're doing a great job because, like, I feel bad. It's Mike, right? The other cop. What's the cop's name? Not the
Mil-
brother, but the other guy.
Miller.
Miller.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like attached to Miller 3 issues in, and I know but I already know what's coming. Like,
Yeah.
that's what sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny. It's funny that you said that because each time we did stuff, especially around issue 3 and 4, people were saying the same exact thing when they read it and they're like, "Man, it sucks," because you know what's going to happen to them. It's. I mean, unless you simply don't know how zombies work, um, but yeah, no, it sucks for me too because I don't get to write them anymore. So
Ooh, that's a good point. I'll have to
yeah,
have some callback cameo or pre-story or something.
yeah, we'll see what happens in the future with all that stuff.
What advice would you give aspiring creators?
One of the big things I say the most is just do it. Just give it the Nike slogan, just do it. Uh, you're going to go through a lot of obstacles. You're going to go through a lot of crap. A lot of people saying, "Oh, it's just a hobby," or "Oh, it's just stop doing it. You're wasting money." All that stuff as well. A lot of people are going to talk down. There's going to be a lot of people who hype you up. I have a lot of uh, what do you call those people who cheer you on?
Cheerleaders?
Yeah, yeah, we'll say yeah, yeah. Geez, talking so much, my brain's broke. I got a bunch of cheerleaders that helping me out and kind of inspiring me to keep going and all that stuff as well. But you are going to get naturally those people. So just do it if this is something you love and you're devoted to it, and you have to get a story out or whatever. And I think even Quentin Tarantino said this. You can't help but make something good if you are in love with your project or passionate about what you're doing as well. You're going to do whatever you can to make it good, as long as there's a true passion to it. And I kind of hold by that as well. Just keep that passion. You have a story to tell. Do whatever you need to do to make sure it's a good one and people can resonate with it and really take it in. But the simple fact of just doing it is one step further into getting to all those other small goals as well that I just mentioned.
On that note, it's funny you mentioned that because Robert Rodriguez, they're good friends,
Mhm.
Quentin and Robert Rodriguez. On Rodriguez's interview with Rogan, he talks about that exact thing and about having, you've got to make the crap to make them good, right? So this is it's a step ladder. My episode 1 through 14 was not great.
Yeah, yeah, you got to do it, and I'm sure they're better than you think they were, but it's just
Right, right.
but I think one of the best things though too, with that being said, is you're being a critic yourself, and really criticizing your own work, not taking things personal. That's one of the biggest things that I'm glad I have this kind of quality though too. I don't take a lot of things personal, and I try to illustrate that to people who if I'm asking somebody at a con or whatever it is, I want to hear it straight. If somebody didn't like a certain aspect about it, tell me, because I want to get better myself. I want somebody to tell me, hey, I didn't like this aspect of it, or explain why if you wanted to be a little nicer about it. But you don't have to be nice about it. I want to learn. I want to get better at this
Right.
stuff. I don't want to be like, oh, this is great, and then it sucks for 50 issues. I want it to progress. I want the writing to progress. I want the story to progress. I want it all to progress. So yeah. I think you got to go through, like you just said, you got to make crap, and I've made a lot of crap that people haven't ever seen and nobody will ever see. But some of that crap that I made is put into this comic and other comics and projects I'm working on, and they turn out to be great. It just sometimes they don't work for certain things, and you put it in somewhere else, and it fits better than the other puzzle.
Right. 100%. So your books are available on your website. We'll put
Mhm.
a link in the description. What else? Anywhere else, or just the website, or you go to conventions? Where do you go to conventions?
So we do go to conventions. We also list the conventions on our websites in the event section.
Okay.
We're going to a couple more this
Perfect.
year, and we sell at a couple of local comic stores in the Erie one, Ashtabula area as well. We're actually putting another spot in our website where we're available in store as well. I'm working on a part of putting that in there so people can kind of see that. We just wanted to kind of get a couple more comic stores that have us in there. And
Now, is that something you're open to, like any store?
yeah, I would be hey, wherever
So if I
people
went
want
to
to
my
have.
local store and said, "Hey, check out this comic,"
Oh,
they do
100%.
retail or
Oh,
wholesale, right?
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
100%. I
We'll mention it to them.
any that'll be greatly appreciated. I want to get Avalon in
Okay.
every store. It's just about getting visual, things, people seeing it, asking questions and looking. But we're trying to get more stores. We were down in a store. What store are you talking about?
So I go to Yellowbird Comics in Fuquay, North Carolina, Fuquay
Okay, that's
Marina.
that's not what it was then. There was another store. I cannot remember the name of that store that bought one of our Kickstarters bought a wholesale kind of comics there. I'll have to see what the name of that store is.
Ultimate
Um,
Comics, Capital Comics. Was
I'd
it
have to
in the
see it.
Raleigh area?
I'd
Do you
have
know
to
where
see
it
it.
was? And okay.
No, no, because it was, I think, issue 3 when he did it, so it would have been a couple
Oh
of
yeah,
years ago.
this
So off the top of my head,
he
I don't know.
just opened about a year ago, the one I go to. So
Okay, so no, this would have been a little bit ago. Yeah, no, I'll have to check it out. But we're trying to we obviously want to get it out and about and have as many people hold it in their stores as possible, if they're willing, but other than that, we're selling on our websites. We run frequent deals for people. Just kind of sign up for our newsletters. We're sending out newsletters all the time with, percents off and all that as well. And a huge grab that people argue with me about are my PDFs are dirt cheap. So I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for everybody watching or listening and stuff. They're $2.99 each, and sometimes we go
okay.
even lower, with some deals too. So um, yeah, if
Hey,
people don't mind
nothing
PDFs,
wrong with
there you
that.
go. Right.
I don't like them, but I do them because I have to for these
Yeah.
interviews.
And I
You know,
get
because
it.
I get people send me digital, right? They're not going to
Yeah.
send me physical copies yet. One day I'll be like, I'll demand it. I'll be like, nope, I'm
Yeah.
not
Nope.
interviewing. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Right.
I hope to never be that guy. I just don't enjoy digitally. I want the book in my hand. I don't know. It's just weird. But
No, it makes sense. You get
yours
the
was
smell.
actually the weird yours was actually good to read digitally. Some of them, the files, I guess, are just weird they send me, but yours were really easy to read and scroll through, and it was, so I appreciated that.
I'm glad that's easy
Um
then too. So
so yours were good. Um is there anything else? I still have a few more like fun questions, but is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about or need to get out?
not necessarily. I think we talked about quite a bit, other than just, checking us out, finding us on social media as Avalon Comic and all that stuff too. But I think
Sure.
we talked about a lot of stuff. And I appreciate obviously this talk as
Look
well. But yeah.
Yeah, look for you got another Kickstarter coming up soon for
Yeah,
volume 1.
we'll keep an update out. We don't know exactly when yet. It'll be towards the end of the year, early next. So just kind of keep a lookout for our next Kickstarter. But we notify all of our social media
Okay.
platforms and newsletter as well. If you follow us anywhere, you'll get the news somewhere. But
Well, I'd
just
love to
follow
have
us
you back
everywhere. Yeah,
on,
of course. And that would be
when you
awesome if
launch that, we'll get it going. All right, so I got some fun questions. So what was your first favorite superhero?
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
He's everybody's. He's mine
I
too.
know, but
So that's
I
all right.
like I
Yep.
like him because of the grittiness and just like
Yeah.
he's
I love it.
beaten down. I want somebody beaten down. I want like the gritty Batman. Those are the ones I
Yeah.
like. But yeah.
I'll give you an Easter egg since you gave me one. So the A in AJ stands for Alfred. So that's
Oh
why
yeah, I like that.
Batman's butler, right? So
Yeah.
I always had a attraction to like the Batman series because like you don't see Alfred every day like in
No.
the world. So when I saw, Batman's butler's name was Alfred, I was immediately,
You're like, yep.
attracted to that.
That's awesome.
Do you remember the first comic book you ever read?
I don't know the specific one. It had to have been a Batman. I have some old Batmans. I don't remember the exact one, which title it was or whatever it was. But that was my first superhero. Probably Batman. The first series throughout I read was probably The Walking Dead, like
Okay.
throughout. But I've read a bunch
Yeah.
of other small like snips and stuff. But yeah, probably a Batman comic.
Cool. If you could live in any comic universe, which one would it be? I'm not living in yours.
Yeah, I don't want to live in mine either. I'd be too scared. um, Geez, that's a good question that I have because I usually read. Lately, I've been reading the horror ones, and I don't want to live in any of those comics. You know what I mean? So
Nope.
it's just like, trying to think of a happy one. Maybe like a Looney Tune one.
Ooh, Looney
Let me
Tunes
get.
would be good.
Yeah, I feel like so you're not like dealing with any chaos. Like I said, a lot of the comics that I've been reading is more so like the horror. Like, I don't want to live in that. I don't want to get killed or
Right.
beat or
I
what.
had a similar one on a recent episode that ain't out yet, but it probably will be. I don't know when I'll release them. But he said peanuts. He was like, just put me in peanuts. I'll just deal with the dog and the kids.
I'll do
I was
that.
like,
Yeah, no,
that's a good answer.
that is actually a really good answer. I'm gonna jump I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon too. Whatever. It's
Right?
just
I was
like
like,
living a
yeah, I
normal
could.
life in a comic world.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Garfield, maybe just, lay
Yeah,
around. That's fine.
those are good. Yeah, yeah, I like those ones. Those are way better. It's something chill, something I don't want to deal with any
Yeah.
chaos or
I don't want to deal with,
mental distress.
Galactus eating
Yeah,
the
right.
planet or,
Well, I was gonna
Metropolis
say
on fire.
right. I was gonna say like Superman because he's usually like oh, you got all the happy aspects to it, but then at the same time you get people attacking the city and the whole city's blown up or burned down. I'm like, no. So yeah, Garfield or
Yep.
Peanut. Yeah.
All right. If you could have any superpower, which one would you choose?
To stop time. Is that one? Is that a power? Is that a
It
superpower?
is. I mean, that's
Okay.
actually somebody else had said that. He was like, man, if I could just stop time, finish my work, and then like instantly draw something for somebody, like and turn in a comic that day would be amazing.
That or simply I'm gonna confess to a crime that maybe I'll get in the future if I get like some Gen V or what do they call that? What's the stuff called from the boys?
Oh God, I don't
What
remember.
is
It's
that
been
called?
a
Like
while since I watched that.
yeah, but the stuff and then I can stop time. I'm pausing time, I'm going into the bank, and I'm just oh, I need a quick buck. I'm gonna walk into the McDonald's parking lot, stop time, go take $100 out of their thing. Hey, okay, done. I'm confessing the crimes
Yeah.
that I might do in the future if I could stop time. So you might have to
All
blur
right.
this
So
part
if to
out.
stop, yeah, stopping time becomes the thing, you're immediately arrested.
Yes, the
You'll be like
FBI is going to be
Minority
showing up.
Report. Hopefully, they never come up with Minority Report, and you're like, well, he's already confessed to this.
So we're already we don't need anything else.
Yeah, we're good. All right, so if you could pick a comic book character to be your sidekick, which one would you choose? And it doesn't have to be a sidekick; it can be any character.
Yeah, no, I'm trying. I don't want to sound cliche and say Batman again. Because like you're getting the brutality, you're getting the martial arts training, you're getting the money.
Well, not if it's the new Absolute Batman. He's broke.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess my question, like, would I get any abilities, or am I just me?
Well, you could still have your stop time ability. You just have a sidekick now.
If I had my stop time ability, it'd probably be Superman, because then we could just rule the world
There you go,
in a
Superman.
good way. I'm
Uh,
not saying it in a
yeah.
negative manner. Like we could just make sure everything's great, and I
Did
just
you
take
see the new
$100 here and
movie?
there. Not yet. I was out of town
Oh,
that weekend,
okay.
and I'm so bugged out that I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it so bad. I haven't even seen Fantastic Four yet.
I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet, but
Okay,
that's it
okay.
only came a couple days old. Um, but I did see
I
Superman. But I usually
I
wait
need
like a
to see
week or
that.
so and then go see him. It was good.
I
I enjoyed it.
so I've heard. Yeah, a lot. My dad and all them said they saw it, and they said it was really good. I'm excited to see it. I want to see it before it pops out of the theater. I don't know when that's going to be, but I plan on going soon. I want to go soon.
Yep. It's 7 o'clock. You can catch the 9 p.m. show. Well, no, no, no. Never mind. You've got to go watch Jackie Brown.
Yeah,
Uh,
you
all
can't
right.
let it
This is the
down.
last question. Um, if your life were a comic book, what would the title be?
Chaos
Yes. Okay. Love it.
or stress, one or the other.
So go take 2 hours off and go watch Jackie Brown.
Yeah. So then I could, yeah, then I don't have to stress.
And then you can say, I've seen all the
Yeah.
Tarantino
Then
movies,
then I'm
even the
then I'm a
ones. Yeah.
then I'm an
Have you seen
official
Dust Till
Tarantino.
Dawn?
Yes, I've seen that a while
Okay,
ago,
you've
but I've
seen all the
seen it.
ones like he's written too,
Yes,
like all
yes.
the. Okay,
Again, sorry, except for another one. You're gonna hate me. True Love or True Romance.
true. Okay, that's okay.
Okay, a lot of people love it that I've talked to
It's
that
all
are fans.
right.
Yeah,
It's
a
yeah,
lot of people are like, I can't believe you haven't seen that movie. Like, and that's
yeah,
another one I haven't seen that he wrote, but the ones he's done, I'm gonna count those ones for
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But no, yeah,
For
I've
now,
seen
his
that one, and
nine.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. I love Tarantino. He's awesome. Well, cool. Is there anything else that we need to cover? Anything else you can think of, or
No, I
I
think
really
that's it.
appreciate you giving me time.
I
Be
appreciate you giving me the time and talking
uh,
with me and meeting you and all that stuff, being on your show and everything. It's
yeah.
much
Well, I'll
appreciated.
check out where you're gonna be. I'm gonna start doing travel and doing some conventions too, a couple
Awesome.
times. So I'd love, hopefully we'll get to meet in person one day. I go to upstate New York once in a while, so
Okay.
maybe I can work one of those conventions out around that area.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. And if you do
but
find
yeah,
one out in that area, let me know. I'll see about
okay.
going there as well and all that stuff too. We can figure something out. Um,
And I'd love to have you back on when you launch. We can do one to put with the Kickstarter or whatever you need to do. I'll be glad to help in any way I can.
and that would be awesome. I'd love to come back. This is a great time. And again, I'm glad that you reached out. Or yeah, you reached out, right? Yeah. And
I don't know. I don't
I don't know,
remember.
whoever it was, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're
We're
here, and
here.
good
I may
meeting
have
you and all
reached
that.
out. I don't
I
remember.
think it
Uh,
was,
Hey,
what's
I'm
his,
up to 400 followers on TikTok.
there you
I
go.
don't have
See?
time to look and see who I've reached out. No, I'm
You're
just
like, hang on a second. Like, I'm progressing here.
Yeah, I need 1,000. No, I need more YouTube followers is what I need. But we'll
So
monetize
that's,
eventually.
yeah.
It's not easy, but I'm having a blast doing it. And if I can help, one person sell a comic book or find a new series and stuff, and things, I'll talk to my store, let him know, and have him check you out. Um, you know, and let him know that you offer retail stuff, or
Yeah, yeah.
wholesale stuff. So, but yeah, well, thanks for being on with me. I really appreciate it. It was great meeting you, and we'll do it again.
Well, yep, it's great meeting you as well. And yeah, I look forward to that. If you truly want to have me back, it would be a blast. And then we'll figure something out in the future too. And if you need anything, obviously reach out to me. We'll talk and all that stuff. We'll stay connected too. But it was a good time.
Appreciate it.